Let me ask you something. When BlackRock launched its Bitcoin ETF, what did everyone say? Bullish. When Strategy bought another $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, what did everyone say? Bullish. When banks started offering Bitcoin custody services, what did everyone say? Bullish. And they're right. Institutional adoption is happening. The biggest financial players on the planet are piling into Bitcoin. That part is real. But here's the question that keeps me up at night. And I've been in this space for 9 years now. I've survived 3 crashes. I've lost 6 figures to a custodian that went bankrupt. The question is this: if all these institutions are buying Bitcoin, who exactly is selling it to them? Now, I want to be clear, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing in this video is financial advice. I'm sharing my own experience, my own observations, and what I've seen after 9 years in this space. Always do your own research. But I think once you see this from a different angle, you'll never look at institutional adoption the same way again. Here's what most people don't realize. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. That's it. No exceptions, no printing press, no emergency supply increase. 21 million forever. Now, of those 21 million, somewhere between 3 and 4 million are already lost permanently, gone, locked in wallets where nobody has the keys, sent to dead addresses, buried with people who didn't pass on their seed phrases. So the real supply, it's closer to 17 million, maybe less. And here's where it gets interesting. Do you remember what Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, the largest asset manager on the planet, said about Bitcoin back in 2017? He called it an index of money laundering. Those were his exact words. He wanted nothing to do with it. Fast forward to today. That same Larry Fink launched the most successful Bitcoin ETF in history. BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust pulled in billions of dollars faster than any ETF ever created. The man who dismissed Bitcoin as criminal activity is now one of its biggest institutional buyers. Think about what that tells you. It's not just that he changed his mind. It's that the biggest financial players in the world looked at Bitcoin, did the math, and decided they need to own it. And they're not buying a little bit. They're buying as much as they can get. Strategy alone holds over 500,000 Bitcoin. The ETFs, BlackRock, Fidelity, the whole crew, they're absorbing thousands of coins every single week. Metaplanet in Asia is trying to copy the Strategy playbook. Corporations are building Bitcoin treasury reserves. Out of roughly 17 million available coins, institutions are vacuuming them up at a pace we've never seen before. The liquid supply, the coins that are actually available to buy on exchanges, it's shrinking fast. So I'll ask you again, who is selling these coins to BlackRock? To Strategy? To the banks? The answer is us, retail investors. Every time someone panic sells during a crash, every time a trader flips their coins for a quick profit, every time someone hands over their Bitcoin to a custodian for a few % yield, and I know that story personally because I lost 6 figures doing exactly that with BlockFi. Every single one of those moments is a transfer, not a trade, a transfer from people who can't afford to wait to institutions that can afford to wait forever. I think of it like building a business. I spent decades building businesses, and I watched the same thing happen. Individual owners would sell when times got tough. Big firms would buy the dip. 20 years later, the big firms owned a lot of the best businesses. The original owners, priced out permanently. That's what's happening with Bitcoin right now. Except it's happening faster, because unlike businesses or real estate, there's a hard cap. Nobody's making more Bitcoin, ever. So how does this happen? How do regular people end up on the wrong side of the biggest wealth transfer in history? From what I've seen and what I've lived, there are 3 traps. Trap number 1, the panic sell, the market drops 30%. Your portfolio is deep red. The headlines are screaming that Bitcoin is dead, again. And the voice in your head says, get out now before it goes to zero. I've been through 3 of these, 2018, 2022, and here we are again. And every single time, the people who sold at the bottom, their coins didn't disappear. Those coins went straight into the wallets of institutions and long-term holders who were buying the exact moment you were selling. The fear didn't protect you. It transferred your wealth. Trap number 2, the yield trap. This one I know from personal experience. A platform offers you 5, 6, maybe 8% yield on your Bitcoin. Sounds amazing. Passive income on an appreciating asset. What could go wrong? I'll tell you what went wrong for me. BlockFi went bankrupt, and my Bitcoin, the Bitcoin I had trusted them to hold, was gone. I lost 6 figures, not because of a crash, not because Bitcoin failed, because I gave up custody for a few percent yield. And where did those coins end up? In the bankruptcy estate, distributed to creditors, institutions, liquidators, not back to me. Trap number 3, the short-term trade. You buy Bitcoin, it goes up 20%. You sell, thinking you'll buy back lower, but it keeps going up, so you buy back higher. Then it dips, and you panic sell again. Every round trip, you lose a little more. Fees, taxes, bad timing. Meanwhile, institutions aren't trading. They're accumulating. They buy, they hold, they never sell. Strategy has literally never sold a single Bitcoin, not one. The institutions are playing a 20-year game, and most retail investors are playing a 20-minute game. That gap, that's the wealth transfer. So what do you do about it? Look, I'm not here to tell you what to buy or sell. That's not my job, and I'm not qualified to give financial advice. But I can tell you what I do, and what I've learned the hard way. First, I stopped trading. 9 years ago, I was flipping altcoins, chasing pumps, trying to outsmart the market. I lost more money doing that than in any single crash. Now, I accumulate slowly, consistently, and I hold. Second, I stopped giving up my keys. After BlockFi, that lesson was burned into my brain forever. If it's not in my wallet, a wallet where I control the keys, it's not mine. I talked about this in my last video on the custody spectrum. There's a reason self-custody is the gold standard. Third, I wrote my plan when the skies were clear. When markets are calm, that's when you decide what you'll do in a crash. Not during the crash, not when your hands are shaking and the headlines are on fire. Before, you write it down, and when the storm hits, you follow the plan, not your emotions. And fourth, and this is the big one, I zoomed out. Pull up the monthly chart of Bitcoin, not the hourly, not the daily, the monthly. Every single time this asset has crashed, it has come back higher than before. Every single time. That doesn't guarantee the future, but it tells you something about the people who panicked versus the people who waited. The institutions know this. That's why they're buying. Not because they're smarter than you, because they have one thing most retail investors don't: patience, the willingness to sit through the pain. But here's the thing, you can have that too. You don't need a billion-dollar balance sheet to hold Bitcoin, and you don't even need to buy an entire Bitcoin. You just need to stop playing their game. Stop panic selling into their buy orders. Stop handing over your coins for yield. Stop trading away your future for a few dollars today, because they're not buying Bitcoin for you, they're buying it from you. And the only person who can stop that is you. Here's my question for you, and I genuinely want to hear your answer in the comments. Are you accumulating, or are you being accumulated? Think about that. If this video made you think differently about what's really happening in Bitcoin, hit subscribe. I put out new videos every week. Hard-won lessons from 9 years in this space. No hype, no nonsense, just the truth from someone who's been there. Stay patient, stay sovereign, and I'll see you in the next video as we continue our conversations. Keep holding as we continue our journey together.